Hello everyone, my name is Ariana Akbari and welcome back to my channel. And specifically, welcome back to this video series on how to heal yourself to heal the world. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the first steps for your environmental and self-healing journey. I'm going to discuss the why that you need to find out about your involvement in the environmental movement, the how you're going to need to find out about your involvement in the environmental movement, and then for your personal life, how to find your values so that you can live a life that's fully aligned with them. And this can also apply to how you're going to approach your endeavors in the environmental movement, or, honestly, this could work for any movement or any project that you might be interested in pursuing. Okay, so I'm going to start with the why of your environmental journey. So this is so important to find out because if you don't have a really good reason why you're doing something, it makes it very, very easy to just quit, just to give up, So you need to make sure why you're getting into the environmental movement or why you're pursuing any project is very strong. So like for me, my why is very strongly linked to like my family and my home. There were a lot of people in my community getting sick. I felt that, the world was moving towards a clean transition. There was a lot of dialogue about, keeping the earth, like all of this stuff. But in my hometown, or in Texas in general, there was not a lot of conversation about how to do that. And as someone who has been a lifelong leader in my community and, among my peers, I felt that it was really important to me to be able to bring that to, my loved ones, to the people I cared about, to the people I've, for so long worked hard to protect, to defend, to care about. And so my why is very much so like rooted in my friends, my family, my like role in my community, and like the very present issues that I was like seeing pop up recurringly. And the next part, so for you, just like think about why you're doing something, and make sure that it's really deep, that it's like really important to you, right? Now, the second part of your environmental journey, or whatever your project's journey is going to be, is about the how. Okay, so this is about like your personal flavor. This is about who makes you you, like what makes you you, and what makes you special, what makes you amazing. Okay, so there are a lot of people who I think forget this part, like the how is something that's kind of like thrown aside, particularly like a lot of like very like known people, kind of like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. It's like I think they kind of lose like their why and their how, but they also might have like pre-existing mental health issues. Anyway, but I digress. So like the how is like your flavor, it's your style, it's like how you're going to approach something. So for me in the environmental movement, I noticed that there are a lot of people from a social justice background, right? From these very like crunchy granola, or like very academic, or like very like community organizing backgrounds, right? And that was not me. It's still not me, right? Like I have a degree in art and architecture and religion, right? I like love wearing, like I love dressing up. I love engaging with the community. I love things like kindness. I love like unique experiences, right? So like very high quality experiences are really important to me. And like being kind to everyone was really important to me, which isn't something that I found a lot in the environmental movement, and in a lot of the areas. So my how has been definitely linked to like, style, elegance, like kindness is really important to me. So I've wanted to make sure that whenever I'm pursuing my why, right, whenever I'm really fighting for the people that I love most, that I care about most, when I'm trying to like bring them, like lead them through this like difficult time, right, I also want to do it in a way that is aligned with who I am. So I want to do it in a way that makes sure that people's feelings are taken into account. I want to make sure that I'm doing it in a way that like what makes me happy is being taken into account. Like I want things to be aesthetic, right? I want things to be beautiful. I want things to be like unique and experiential and loving, and yeah. So like make sure not only you have your why, but to also make sure you have your how you're going to do it. And this ultimately brings me to the healing yourself kind of portion, which is in establishing your personal values. Now, this is something that I worked on probably through some kind of like podcast, but mostly through my therapist, who encouraged me to do this. And very early, whenever I had initially met her. And so this is something you kind of have to like sit down with yourself or with a friend and just write out a list of the things that you value in your life, right? And this is less so like arbitrary. It needs to be things that like mean a lot. They have to be coming from the heart, right? So like it can be financial stability, it can be family, it can be like love, it can be like house, it can be, you know, plants. Like it needs to be something that is really important, right? And go ahead and just like write them out. Like I have a notebook here, and you can write out your values and list like 4 to 5. Okay, don't get crazy. We're not needing to make like a whole situation, right? List out 4 or 5. And so for me, you know, I've written right here, this is my little, the why, the how, my little agenda. But, you know, here are some of my values that I just made up off the top of my head. And I have style, family, earth, success, and love, right? So from there, you want to see like where you're meeting those values in your day-to-day life. Okay, so my style, I would say I'm doing pretty good on that. So I'm going to put like a little arrow going upwards. Okay, family, you know, I don't have the perfect relationship with my family, but I am trying my best. So I'm also going to go upwards on that. Earth, I have really done a lot for this earth. So I'm also going up on that. Success, I have not had a ton of success yet, regrettably. So my success is actually going to be a neutral arrow or a somewhat down arrow, maybe both, okay? And I guess, you know, that's how you measure success. I'm also a little self-critical, so I am aware of that. And then in terms of love, I have a lot of family love. I have a lot of like love for my friends, but I have no romantic love. But that being said, like in terms of love, I think I'm a neutral arrow because I do feel pretty fulfilled in terms of like love in my life. So my values chart looks a little bit like this. I don't think that's focusing, but you can see the general like gist, okay? And so if you can see like my values, right? This is gonna really help me figure out both my why and my how a little more. Like I told you, my why is definitely rooted to like, you know, like family, right? Friends, love, right? And then my how is really rooted to like style and like, again, earth, success, love, family. So doing both of these or all 3 of these exercises are really going to help you both in your journey in the environmental movement, in your self-healing journey, and honestly for anything in life. Whatever you might be wanting to start a project in your life, like another social movement, whatever, you know, I think this will be really helpful for you. So thank you so much for watching. This is about discovering your why and your how in starting a project or joining the environmental movement, as well as discovering and identifying your own values in terms of you know, what's important to you, what's meaningful to you, and how to ensure that you can make sure that you live a healthy and happy life. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Ariana Akbari, and catch me next Saturday. Bye.